Good day, everyone. I am Edsel Binta, and today we are going to discuss the continuation of our topic, which is titled Implementation of the Bilingual Education Policy. So, in the primary grades, children use Filipino and learning. We have civics and culture, also known as civica at cultura, in grades 1 to 3. We also have geography, history, and civics, also known as geograpia, kasaysayan, at civica in grades 4 to 6. And again, we have makabayan, which includes character education, music, arts, and physical education in grades 1 to 6. And lastly, we have the home economics and livelihood education, also known as Edukasyong Pangtahanan at Pangkabuhayan in grades 4 to 6. So, in this mentioned subjects or subjects, children were taught in Filipino because it is way easier for them to understand the subject or the lesson that is being discussed. And then next is children learned mathematics in grades 1 to 6 and science in grades 3 and 6. So science and mathematics were taught already in English. And Filipino and English learned as subjects in all grade levels from grades 1 to 6 in the primary grades, of course. And then teachers believe that use of Filipino as medium of instruction this promotes oneness in thought as nation and pride in being Filipino because we use our national language. It shows us being a true Filipino. And then preserves cultural and national identity and promotes development of reading skills because Filipino use is a language of mass media which most children have access to. So, lastly, we have children were observed to learn Filipino easier because of regular transparent orthography and mother tongues of children have Filipino vocabulary. Now, let's go to the implementation of PEP, the Lingua Franca project in 1999 to 2003. So, this project only lasted for 5 years. So what is a lingua franca? So a lingua franca is a language or mixture of languages used as a medium of communication by people whose native languages are different. It's like pidgin. And in 1999, the Department of Education's Bureau of Elementary Education conducted a study known as the Lingua Franca Education Project. So it was implemented on 32 schools around the Philippines. And they only used three language, which are the Tagalog, Cebuano, and the Ilonggo. And it was implemented with the issues of DEX Memorandum Number 144 Series of 1999, also known as the Lingua Franca Project, and it continued until 2003. So it only lasted again for 5 years. So it aimed at defining and implementing national bridging program to develop initial literacy. So they implemented the Lingua Franca project to be able to develop the initial literacy of the children in those selected schools. So lingua franca or second language of regions or community is used as a bridge language because they use their native language to be able to learn a new language, which is the Tagalog or the Cebuano or the Ilocano, and then after that they're going to learn English. That's why it bridges all the languages. So all subjects in grade 1 were taught in lingua franca including reading readiness and reading or beginning reading, because a lot of students are still new to the languages and still new to learning. They were taught and using the lingua franca that is used in the community where they live. And Filipino was taught orally. So the teachers focus more on the reading, listening of the students at that time. And oral English was introduced in second semester. Again, it was also taught orally, or they focus more on orally teaching the students. And then schools were given the option to select which lingua franca to use. So in the lingua franca project, they suggested only three languages, which were the Tagalog, Cebuano, and then the Ilocano. So reading in first language developed self-confidence and facilitated smooth transfer of learning from first language to second language, because they already understand it from their first language. Then it will be much more easier for them to be able to understand it, to understand the text or the sentence in the second language, because they have already read it and understand it when they first read it in their first language. And using the community's language was proven to be effective, which made the students learn the lesson effectively, because they were taught using the lingua franca that is used in their community. So, in summary, Filipino and English shall be used as media of instructions. The use allocated to specific subjects in the curriculum as indicated in the Department Order Number 25 Series of 1974. And next is the regional languages shall be used as auxiliary media of instruction and an initial language for literacy where needed, because students or children are more, or they easily understood the subjects or the lesson that is being taught when it is taught to them in a language that they know and they understand more effectively. And lastly, Filipino and English shall be taught as language subjects in all levels to achieve the goals of bilingual competence. Because in the next order, we aim to be able to be bilingual competent, or we know two languages for us to be able to pass a certain test or exam. That is why this lingua franca project was implemented back then, to be able to give the children a bilingual competence. So that's all. Thank you.